classic Schwarzkopfs, Japanese Jetcoasters and rare flat rides. I'm Rollercoaster David, and this is Coasting into Selva Magica.
So I'm here today at Selva Magica. It's a park in Mexico, like the other parks I've been to here, in a town city called Guadalajara. At least I think that's how you pronounce it.
When I visited the park, it was home to 5 roller coasters, although 2 of them, a Schwarzkopf Jumbo Jet and a Zero Tivoli, have since been removed. Both of these coasters were down when I visited, however, so I'm not sure how long they've been left standing but not operating. That left 3 coasters at the park, although all 3 of these coasters started out at other parks before making the trip to Selva Magica.
First up, we've got this one behind me here, which is a Japanese-style jet coaster called Titan. It's actually quite good fun. You've got some good airtime going on it, particularly in the back seat.
Titan is a rare Sansei Yusoki jet coaster that is the oldest roller coaster in the park, and it's the only one made by this manufacturer still operating outside of Japan. It was originally located in a park in Canada called Boblo Island before making the move to Selva Magica, and as well as a standard version of the ride, they were offering a VR version as well, although I much preferred riding it without the VR headset.
You've also got this one just coming up here, which is called Jubilee, which is a Pinfari cyclone. It's fairly inoffensive. It's not as rough as some of the ones I've been on, but not a brilliant coaster, not a bad coaster.
This one started out in Plopsa de Pan in Belgium before moving here, and whilst it's a rather forgettable coaster, the final coaster in the park is something rather special.
So this is actually the main reason I came to Selva Magica, a coaster called Bullet. Now weirdly, I've actually seen this coaster before. And not just in like photos or videos, but I've seen it with my own eyes. Back when I was much smaller, very little, we used to go on caravan holidays down to the south, well, to the north of England, in the Yorkshire area. One year we went to Lightwater Valley, and another year we went to Flamingo Land. And when I went to Flamingo Land, this coaster was here, the Bullet. I think it was removed around about 2005, and slowly it made its way to Mexico, where it is now.
Back then, I was either too small or too scared to ride it, so I tried to make up for that this time, and it's a great coaster. The route this coaster has taken to get to the park is quite a long and interesting one. It was originally constructed at a park in Vienna, Austria, but was never actually allowed to open due to being excessively noisy. It then crossed the Atlantic to Circus World in Florida, before returning to Europe and touring the German funfair circuit. After that, it found a more permanent home at Flamingo Land, before eventually crossing the Atlantic again to land here in Mexico. It's a bit awkward to get onto the train, as it's actually tilted on its side as the track twists through the station, but once you're seated, the train's propelled forward slightly before the countdown begins to launch. This reverse launch sends you up a spike before you dive back through the station, gaining even more speed from the drive tyres as they propel you into a curve that leads into a tight loop before going up another spike and experience the whole ride again backwards. It's a fun, intense ride, and it's a real shame that it's not at Flamingo Land anymore, as I'd rate it above any of their current coasters. Maintenance and reliability could have been a factor, however, as even during my visit the ride had to close down several times, and during testing I did see it have a rollback as well. I did read somewhere that it had some problems regarding overheating, and that can't really be helped by being in the hot Mexican sun. Regardless, it's still a fantastic ride, and much better than any boomerang coaster.
Sadly, 2 of the coasters have been down today, including this one, Tornado, and a Zero Force one called Caterpillar, I believe it's called. It's a shame this one was down, I was quite looking forward to it, but just about everything else I wanted to ride in Mexico was open, so I can't complain too much.
Other rides in the park include a refreshing log flume that's perfect on a hot day like today, and also an inverting pirate ship that's a ride type I'm not particularly keen on. The most interesting flat ride for me, however, was Batflyer, a Mondial Supernova, as this would be my first time experiencing this flat ride. Compared to some videos I've seen of the ride at German funfairs, however, it seemed to be operating on quite a gentle cycle, but it was still interesting to ride nonetheless.
So it's been a rather fun day at Selva Magica. Coaster selection's not bad, like I say, sadly 2 of them were shut today, but they weren't the biggest ones. Titan's really good fun, and the Bullet is awesome. Unique Schwarzkopf, and used to be in the UK. Yeah, it has been absolutely scorching hot today, about 30 degrees, and there's not all that much shade in quite a few bits of the park, so it's been sweltering hot today. But a fun day nonetheless.
Overall, I really enjoyed my time at Selva Magica, and it was a nice way to end my trip to Mexico. This trip had been one I'd wanted to do for ages, and it had been fun to track down all these old Schwarzkopf coasters that used to be in the UK, and to experience the other great Mexican coasters such as Medusa and Superman El Ultimo Escape. It will probably be some time before I return to Mexico, but I'm very glad I made the trip, as some of these older coasters probably won't be around much longer, and following an accident at La Feria de Chapultepec, the whole park's future still remains unclear. Mexico still has some great parks however, and hopefully you've enjoyed this video and the rest of my Coasting into Mexico series. If you have, why not check out some of my other videos from around the world, and stay tuned for more weekly episodes. For now, I've been Rollercoaster David, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again in another video very soon.